Hey there guys, for the past few months I have been seeing the discourse about Kenway. I have noticed that a lot of people keep comparing every Assassin's Creed protagonist to Ezio or the Torre de Firenze. We need to also remember that Ezio is the only Assassin's Creed protagonist to ever have their own trilogy. If every other Assassin's Creed character had the same treatment, I am sure they would have got more or less the same amount of love Ezio did. For example, Kenway only got one game, and even in that game you don't start out playing as him. You see, Connor isn't even the main character in his own game, and I'm honestly sick of it. I feel like it is very unfair to try and make every protagonist fit into some type of cookie cutter mold of Ezio. Each assassin is supposed to be different, with a different story to tell, but I honestly feel that Kenway resembles someone we have seen before. This is why I feel that Kenway is Altair. First of all, we need to start off with Altair. The reason I say Connor is Altair is because Connor represents a lot of what Altair stood for. Not only that, but Connor has a similar story to Altair. Both Altair and Connor were great leaders. They had to restore the faith in the creed. Altair had to rebuild the assassins after Al-Mu'alim became corrupted by the Apple of Eden. This just shows the great leadership that Altair had. The only person who has ever really showed such leadership was Connor. The reason I say this is because Connor had to build his own brotherhood of assassins from scratch. He pulled people together and showed them the truth. For that, they pledged their loyalty to the assassins. This is why Connor is considered to be a great leader and assassin. Now, let me talk about character. One very big quality I noticed about Altair and Connor is that they are both very stoic people, and this is one quality that only good assassins should have. And hey look, I'm not knocking any assassins that were extroverted, but the whole point of being an assassin is to be a ghost, is to be a shadow. This is why I feel that comparing other assassins to Ezio is not very smart. We also need to ask ourselves, what really makes the characters different? For one, most of Altair's life is still a very big mystery. Unless you seek out the lore, you won't know much about Altair, and that itself is what an assassin is supposed to be. Everything about them is supposed to be unknown, and that is the same case with Connor. With Ezio, on the other hand, his family was rather well known and wealthy. His father was a very respected nobleman and assassin, which is essentially a very high ranking class in society that of course comes with attention and status. So Ezio was some rich kid, the son of a nobleman and a ladies man with charisma from Italy, and that is who he was before he joined the Brotherhood like his father. I just want to talk about Kenway for a second. One thing we need to understand about Connor is that he is a very misunderstood character. I have heard many people say that if you play the Homestead missions, then you will get to know him better as a character. I never played the Homestead, but I still like Connor. And just to throw it in there, what we need to remember is that a character is only as good as their writing. The voice actors are directed and told who and how to perform. If anything, I would say don't hate the character, hate the writing. Getting back on topic though, Kenway is someone who lost his family and home at a very young age. He watched it burn to a crisp by Charles Lee, someone who worked for his father Haytham Kenway, and this is why Connor is who he is. He was just a kid when he started on his path to becoming an assassin. He started his training at a very young age, way younger than when Ezio started, so Connor really didn't have much of a childhood, and that is where his character comes from. It's the same with Ezio. He saw his father and two brothers hung, and that affected him, but he didn't lose who he was. And Ezio still had a lot of family around him for support, so that is how Ezio maintained his humanity and personality. I still feel that Altair is a very underused character. We barely know anything about him. They tried to expand on his life after the events of the first game with giving you flashbacks of his life. Altair also faced some great challenges in his life, like losing his wife to someone who was corrupted by the Apple of Eden. Altair, like Ezio and Connor, has lost so much, and this is a common trend with a lot of assassins of how they dealt with the deaths of the people they loved. If you ask me, it's different strokes for different folks. Each person will deal with death differently. I feel that you should not take that out on the protagonist of the story, rather hold the developer accountable. It's the same case with Desmond Miles. People didn't seem to like him very much, and instead of people saying it was because of bad writing, they said it was because he was a bad character, despite the fact that they had a good character model and they had the legendary voice actor Nolan North, who I would say did a great performance of Desmond Miles. It's sad that it took 5 games for Desmond to have any good character development, but the 5th game was his last game, and that was just when things started to get good. People cling to the shadow of Ezio because they just played more games with him in them. Altair and Connor only had one game to make an impact, and an impact they made. More and more people are warming up to Connor because they are remembering what good protagonists are like. He was not a bad character, he was just a change of pace. I would say that holding on to Ezio will only hold back Assassin's Creed. It will hold back the possibilities of new good characters to be created, and if anything, that is really what Assassin's Creed could use right now. Some unique characters. And with that, this is the Chilly Man signing off. I thank everyone for watching. Peace out.